friends, welcome to this video. Today I'm going to show you all the books that I got for Christmas. Before I say anything, I do want to say if you want to see all the other gifts I got for Christmas, go over to my main channel. I'll try to link that. But I wanted to put all the books in just this one video for this book channel. And I also want to preface this video by saying I have a big family. So I'm very fortunate that I get a lot of gifts because I have like 5 half siblings, and then because my parents are split, you know, you have multiple sets of grandparents and parents, and so it can become a lot of gifts. And so I just want to say that I'm really grateful for all the things that I get. Like, it's really nice, and my family knows I love to read, and the way that my family works is most of the time they just ask for an Amazon wish list, so they just buy what's on your list, which makes it really easy for me to tell them what I want, and it makes it really easy for them to just buy it because they know exactly what I want. That said, let's get into the books that I got. So the first one is The Appeal. I have actually already started reading this book and I'm really enjoying it. Basically, there is a murder. I haven't even gotten to that point in the book, but you're reading through people's like text messages and emails and things like that to uncover this murder. And basically all of these documents were put on the desk of these 2 lawyers. I think they're like lawyers in training, law students, yeah. And so it's really interesting. If you're somebody who's really snoopy and likes to go through other people's things and read people's emails and things, this is probably a book that you would enjoy. The next 2 books I actually bought, but I got a Barnes & Noble gift card for $15, so that paid for like most of the cost of these 2 books. So I got Unravel Me and Restore Me, which are books 2 and 4 in the Shatter Me series. I already own book 1. I found it at Half Price Books for like $5. And I've just heard a lot of good things about this. I've heard people really just breeze through it. I've heard it's maybe not like the best books technically, but it's enjoyable and people read through it super quickly. And you know, sometimes you just need like a quick, easy read, you know? You need that like instant gratification. So I don't know a whole lot about this series, unfortunately, so I'm not going to say much. Sometimes I like to go into books like just knowing nothing because I think it makes it really interesting once you start reading it. And if you can hear little like snorting noises, that's my cat. I don't really know what he's doing, but he's like sniffing around under the tree and sneezing. The next books that I got are actually a trilogy, and I got the box set of The Good Girl's Guide to Murder. Again, this is one that I actually don't know a whole lot, but as far as I'm aware, basically there's this kid in school, and I think they're set a project to like write about some mystery or something, and I think she chooses a mystery or like a detective case or something that hasn't been solved yet, and then she ends up solving it, I think. Again, I haven't actually read the back of the book. I've heard good things from other people on YouTube and TikTok and things like that, and it made me want to read this series. Again, I really like going into books not knowing a whole lot, so I know that I've heard things from people, but I don't think I've actually looked too much into it. What are you doing? Do you want to say hi? Look, say hi. No, you're not enjoying this. What are you doing under the tree? There's no gifts under there anymore. He really likes to try to open gifts by like biting the corners open. So when I give people gifts, sometimes I have to be like, I'm sorry, my cat wanted it. Okay, the next book I got is 7 Stones to Stand or Fall. This is actually a book I've already read, but I wanted a physical copy because I feel like I'm just collecting Diana's books at this point. I am completely caught up in the Outlander series, and so I wanted to read this, so I listened to it as an audiobook. But it's basically just like short stories and novellas that have to do with characters that are in the Outlander series. I don't want to say too much because there's just so much that happens in that series. I feel like no matter what I say, it's going to be kind of a spoiler. Okay, this next book is one that I've been looking forward to for a while, but just haven't gotten around to. It's Babel, and it has like great dark academia vibes from what I've heard. Again, I hate saying this. I don't know a ton about this book. I've just heard good things. That's kind of how I decide what to read these days. I like see something pop up and people are like, yeah, I love it, I love it, I love it. It has these kind of vibes, and then I decide that I want it. It used to be I go into a bookstore and read the back of like 50 books before I decide on one, but now that we have technology, other people kind of decide what I want to read for me. But it sounds really interesting. I've heard amazing things. I say Babel, some people say Babel. I don't know which is correct. The next book is The Atlas Paradox. So this is the sequel to the Atlas 6. I did enjoy the Atlas 6. I think I gave it 3 stars, and maybe that was harsh. I feel like for Dark Academia, I have read better Dark Academia books, but it was overall a good book, and so I'm looking forward to reading the sequel. I don't know if the author had written other books, but I think the Atlas 6 was self-published and then got picked up by a publisher later, and so I'm hoping like this one just is even better, if that makes sense. Okay, so the next books that I have are all kind of in a series. So I have the last 2 books, volumes 5 and 6, in the Descender series, and then books 1 through 4 of the Ascender series. I'm not sure if that's all the books in the Ascender series or not. I think I just added them all on my Amazon wishlist. I have started reading this series. It is a comic about basically robots. There is this little robot, and he's built to look like a human, and he basically becomes the key to potentially destroying the world. And it turns out that the person who had created him as like a companion bot had taken the code for him from this like really ancient technology, and he didn't really know what he was doing, and he got super famous off of it, and it turns out he just like copied it but didn't really know what all of it meant. And so it turns out that that could spell destruction. I don't want to say like what happens too far into it because again, spoilers, but I do really enjoy it. The art style is also really interesting. Let me see if I can find like a good example. So the art is like watercolor style, which is really cool because on some of these pages you can see the texture of the paper and the texture of the watercolors on it. And I, as an artist, really enjoy seeing that like diversity in comics instead of it all being super digital. It's kind of a nice switch up. Okay, the next book is The Tea Dragon Society, and yes, I think this is technically a children's book, but look how cute it is. Like, that is adorable. I don't 100% know if this is like meant for children, but like it's children's book slash comic vibes. But like the art in this is really what made me want it. I again don't know a whole lot about it, but it just has that like super soft art style and I love it. And there's tea and there's dragons. Dragons aren't always my favorite, but I do love tea and I love this art style. So I'm really excited to read this. I think there are 2 other books. So once I finish reading this, maybe I'll get into those. And the very last books that I got, I don't actually have. One of my brothers ordered it for me and it didn't arrive on time, but he got me volumes 1 through 5 of the Spy Family series. I've been watching this anime and I love it, so I want to read the manga. I feel like I need to be better about reading manga. I'm pretty good about reading like novels and stuff before watching TV shows, but anime and manga, I'm not the best at. But Spy Family, I really love. For those who don't know what it's about, basically there is this spy, and in order to complete a mission, he needs to have a fake family, and he needs his child, his fake child, to infiltrate a school so that he can get close to the father of one of the students who is like working in the state, basically, and has some like secrets or is working, you know, against what he's trying to do. So he needs to like infiltrate. So he basically adopts this girl, and she's basically a science experiment, and she has telepathic powers, so she can read his mind. And he ends up running into this woman who basically needs to get married because it's suspicious that she is as old as she is and hasn't gotten married, and she's afraid that people are going to start thinking that she's a spy. So they get married out of convenience, and she is secretly an assassin. So their adopted daughter is listening to like their internal dialogues, and it's really funny, and they just go on these like fun little adventures. But it's super cute. Like, you have a spy and you have an assassin and stuff, but it just has a super cute vibe. I love it. Anyway, those are all the books that I got this year for Christmas. Let me know if you got any books for Christmas and what your favorite one is. I'm really looking forward to reading these in the next year. Will I read them all? I hope so. I feel like I actually got my TBR down to like only a few books and now it's huge again. But that is totally fine with me. It means I don't need to buy any books for a while. I'm actually hoping to put myself on a book buying ban, with the exception of buying books that are in a series that I'm currently reading so that I can complete the series, or at least get like caught up to the most recently published book. So there will be more about that on my channel. I am also paying for a wedding and stuff, so if I could save money by not buying books, that would be great. That is it for this video. If you liked it, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!